Hey guys, it's Kevin again. This is actually going to be a movie review for you guys. And the reason it's going to be movie review is because I actually ended up, I had some birthday money, because it was my birthday today. And so I went out to Best Buy today because I really wanted to review a movie for you guys and see what was there. Because I did end up getting a movie for my birthday, and that was Divergent, which I was very happy I got. But I picked up a few titles because I really want to, catch up on some movies I need to review to you guys. Especially because, there's only 4 months left of this year, and I need to do my top 10, and I really need to start watching movies that'll get me to that list. So, yeah, I'm going to start. You guys will definitely see a lot more movie reviews coming up because I'm definitely going to catch up. And this was definitely one of the movies I really want to see, especially because I heard this movie was one of the best movies of the year. Now, I wasn't, it definitely is not your typical movie to be that, but I got this movie. It was only $18. I got this and one other movie that I will review to you in the next, and probably tomorrow. But that movie is Locke. Now, Locke is a movie that I was actually really looking forward to, definitely. I was really looking forward to this movie for a couple of reasons. One, it is not your typical structured movie. You have a character here. It is a single character movie in Tom Hardy, a one-man show. He is in a car in this movie, and that's the movie. That really is what the movie is. And I really want to check it out, and I kind of thought, can the movie really be that good? It's just him receiving a bunch of phone calls. What's so interesting about that? So I ended up checking out Locke, and I'm so happy that I did, guys, because Locke is a masterpiece. I love this movie. It is definitely my second favorite, probably my second favorite film of this year. Boyhood is still my favorite film of this year, but Locke is definitely my second favorite film. Definitely a very good movie, and I really enjoyed a lot of things about this movie. Now, let's just get into this movie. Let's get to the plot of Locke. Now, the hardest thing about this movie, if you guys review this movie, which I strongly recommend you guys watch this movie, and you want to talk to someone about this movie who has not seen this movie, you guys will agree with me that the hardest part, and I agree with what all of Mike 18 said, because I actually saw his review before watching this, before reviewing this movie, and he said the hardest part of the movie to review is the plot, and I definitely concur, because the plot of this movie, the biggest spoiler of this movie is reviewed in the first 10 minutes. Basically, what this movie is about is it's about this guy named Ivan Locke. He is a very successful businessman. He's a construction worker, and he's very dedicated to his, wife and children. There's a lot of for whatever reason, I'm not going to spoil it to you guys why, but he is in a car, and in 2 hours he has to get to this hospital, and he must get to that hospital. I'm not going to spoil why. I'll talk about why he's going there when we get to the spoilers, but that's pretty much what the plot of Locke is. There's more to the movie than that, but there's definitely a lot more to the movie than that, but if I spoil any more, I'm going to get to spoiler territory, believe it or not. So, yeah, that's really the hardest part to say about this movie. You guys are probably thinking, that's the plot of the movie? Yeah, it's a lot more interesting than that, because of just the way this movie's constructed. Now, this movie is definitely an indie movie, and that's one of the things I love about indie movies, that they're structured differently than typical movies. This movie's definitely structured very differently than other movies I've seen. There are a lot of movies this year that I've seen that are very different. Enemy, Boyhood, and now Locke. These 3 movies. My 3 favorite movies of the year are constructed very differently, and Locke definitely is very constructed differently. Now let's talk about the acting in this movie. Now, there are only a few people to talk about. Most people will just talk about Tom Hardy. However, there are a few other people that I do want to talk about in terms of, characters, because there are a couple people that, yes, he does have phone calls with them in this movie, and there are some that he actually has more than one phone call with them. He has multiple phone calls with them, and I really want to talk about those people. So our main star here is Tom Hardy as Ivan Locke, and holy shit, he gives an amazing performance in this movie. Just, this guy is amazing in this movie. Tom Hardy was never one of my favorite actors, but after this movie, he may be, because he is absolutely amazing in this movie. The thing is, he really plays an anti-hero because of the reason he's going to the hospital, which I'll get to in the spoilers, but because of where he's going to, and because of what he's done, he's really trying to get there, you actually root for his character. It's very much an anti-hero sort of situation. And as the movie goes on, you start to root for him and understand why he's doing what he's doing. and, even though the guy's essentially a dick, you understand why he's doing what he's doing, and I think that's definitely very interesting that the movie does do that. And I thought he just did a very good job in this role, just an amazing performance, definitely one of the best acting performances I've seen this year so far, especially because the whole movie, he's in a car and he's talking to people on the phone. That is the whole movie. There's no other social interaction except him and a phone. There's no other dialogue except him on the phone. That's the whole movie. And just the way that Tom Hardy does that is just so well done, and I thought he was just absolutely fantastic. Obviously, he steals the show. The others are all just phone performances. I do want to talk about a few people, though. Ruth Wilson as Katrina, very good. She played his wife. She was definitely very good. And then Olivia Colman as Bethan. I don't want to spoil her role in the movie, but she was definitely really, really good, in my opinion. Really loved her character. She was definitely really, really good. We'll talk about what happened. We'll talk about why, who she is and everything in a second. But let's get to the director of this movie. The director of this movie is Stephen Knight, and wow, he did an amazing job in this movie. Really, he did. Definitely, I think this movie should definitely be nominated for Best Directing, because the directing in this movie was very well done, because what he decided to do is, Knight decided to actually film this whole movie in real time. So basically, I thought it was just a very good idea to do, because the whole movie's in a car, obviously, and it's green screen, but it's not actually green screened. It's actually in real time. The way, the entire film took place in a car, and I was actually driven down the motorway on a flatbed truck most of the time. You would think it'd be a green screen, but it wasn't. It was driving down this highway, down this truck. It wasn't going anywhere. It was just driving down the highway. So when you see that, a car moving in this movie, it's actually moving, and I thought the way he did that was just very, very good, and they only took breaks to change a couple, things, should change, like, the camera's memory cards, apparently, but the way he decided to portray that in the movie was very well done, because the movie is very much, you are with him in this car. That's really what this movie is, that you are with him in this car, you feel very it's a very claustrophobically crowded movie, definitely. I thought he did a very good job with that, and I thought definitely the directing was really good. Definitely this movie should also go nominated for Best Original Screenplay at the Oscars. I think this movie is going to get some Oscars. I hope it does. I hope especially Tom Hardy gets nominated for Best Actor. I don't know. This movie might not pass the awards. I don't know. We'll have to see. The Academy sometimes doesn't nominate early movies that come out in the year, but sometimes they have. Sometimes there can be, like, some that came out early in the year that they did nominate. But of course, last year there was, like, Mud and things like that didn't get nominated. This definitely, though, should get nominated, and I feel like he should definitely get some Oscar buzz, but I don't know. We'll have to see what happens there. I love the score to this movie as well. This movie is a very, like, quiet score, and it's very much just a simple, like, intense music, but the way the score is done is very good. The score only comes out in, like, a couple of times when he's on the phone. I thought the score was good as well. The cinematography, oh my god, cinematography is astounding in this movie, because, again, as I said, it's an actual car in an actual scenery, and the scenery is just amazing in this movie. I love the cinematography in this movie. You really feel like you are in this car with him. You feel like you're in this car talking to these people on the phone with him. You really feel like you're, like, in the back seat of his car. I felt like I was in the back seat of his car watching him. Really. That's really how the movie portrays it, that you're in the back seat of the car watching him drive, going through this very hard time trying to get to this hospital. And just the way they did that was just very well done, in my opinion. Really loved that about the movie. And also the editing of this movie. The movie is very short, actually. 84 minutes, but if the movie was any longer, it would be boring. It would. If the movie was any longer, it would be boring, so I'm glad the movie was short, because it had to be. It just had to be. In a movie like this, it really had to be short, so I'm glad the movie was really short. And now we're going to get to the spoilers, which, as I said, there are actually a lot of spoilers to this movie, especially because the first 10 minutes spoil the entire movie, so let's just get into it. So, of course, if you guys have not seen the movie, the reason this is a spoiler is because, of course, it is the reason why he's going to this hospital. Because, of course, he had a one-night stand with that girl, Bethan, 7 months previously, with a coworker. She had gone to premature labor, and, I thought that's really when she gave a great performance, and the fact that he just decided to abandon his family and things like that was just really, really big. And, of course, there's that scene where he has to call Katrina on the phone and tells her they lost his infidelity, and, she tells him to, but she basically kicked him out of the house, but his sons tried to, you know, his sons tried to get him back to come back home, but he was planning on not really doing it. And he did whatever he could to, you know, get to that hospital, even if it meant losing his job, kicking him out of the house, you know, whatever he could to get to that hospital, he did. He really wanted this to work out with Bethan, and I really love that he defended her as well. I really like that. I like that everyone's like, oh, she's a slut, she's a slut, she's a slut, and he's like, no, she's not a slut. I actually really do care about her. And I thought that was really good that he really did care about her, and that's really the point of the movie where I thought his character became a lot more interesting. The other thing about his character that I thought was really interesting was, of course, the reason that this is happening is because it is a reaction to his own father. His father abandoned him as a child, and he did not meet up with him until he was in his early 20s, so it's kind of like a pattern of what's happened. You know what they say, like, father like son? That's kind of what's happened with Ivor here. He's sort of going down the same path as his father, and this is sort of him reacting to what his father did. You know, he thinks that's the right thing to do, so that's why he did this, definitely. But the movie definitely does have a very good message. The message of the movie is that he risks everything to get to this girl, even if it means getting fired from his job. You know, he puts her before himself, and the way the movie does that is definitely very good. And the way that he really wants to, you know, turn his life around a little bit, I think is definitely very good as well. Because, you know, he does want to open up that new business, and I think that's definitely going to be, you know, definitely, that was really cool to watch. I really love the message in the movie. And I love that the movie really just ends with her saying she had the baby and the baby was okay. Especially after us, you know, one of the things the movie does best is there's a part where you think this baby is going to die and then he's going to miss the baby dying. Because there are scenes where she's calling him up and she's like, oh, I'm going to have a C-section and things like that. It's just really intense in those scenes. I thought those scenes were just really intense in my opinion. And, you know, of course, that scene where he gets there just, you know, and then when she calls him up and says that the baby was born, it's just, you see his reaction. It's not really a happy reaction. He's kind of devastated because he really did not get to where he wanted to be. The movie does not necessarily end happy. I mean, he lost his wife, he lost his job, but he is happy that she had the baby. He is happy for her, but he's not happy that he wasn't there to experience it because he really wanted to be a good father for the baby. He wanted to be there for the baby, definitely, and he really just, he realizes that he can't keep doing this. I think that, you know, really he's realizing that he can't keep doing this. He can't keep abandoning his family like this, and that's really what the movie is trying to show, is that he can't keep abandoning his family, and I love that message of the movie. It's absolutely fantastic. So overall, I loved Locke, thought it was a very good movie. Again, the movie is not for everyone, I will say this. If you are not a fan of slow-paced movies, if you are not a fan of a movie where there's not a lot of action going on, and it's very dialogue-driven, this is one of the most dialogue-driven movies I've ever seen, definitely. Like, there's not a lot of action going on at all. So, definitely, if you're not a fan of dialogue-driven movies, I would not recommend watching this. However, if you guys are, you know, can handle slow-paced movies like this, definitely check it out, because this movie, in my opinion, is never boring. It's interesting the entire time. Every phone conversation that's going on is really interesting, and that's one of the things I loved about this movie, was the way they did that. The way they portrayed this situation going on was definitely very good. Again, the way I said that, you feel like you're in the backseat of, a Locke's car, just that was definitely really well done in my opinion. I really liked that, definitely, and I really loved everything about Locke, and I highly recommend you guys check it out because it really is a fantastic movie. And also, very much like Boyhood, Locke is very much an experience. It's really a movie you need to experience, definitely. It's not like anything I've seen before. I've never really seen a movie where someone's in a car the whole time. It's just really cool the way they did that, and I thought that was just very, very well done. Loved everything about Locke. Alright, so that's basically it for my review of Locke. Let me know what you guys thought about the movie. That's in my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in my next video. And again, guys, I will be doing more movie reviews for you guys. I actually have couple movies coming tomorrow. I got some movies from Amazon, so I'm not going to tell you guys what it is, but there's a movie coming out tomorrow that I pre-ordered, and yeah, so if you guys know what's coming out tomorrow, you guys can probably figure it out, but my next review will be for the for the season finale of Switched at Birth. So I'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.